What is happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Hope out there it's doing good. You feel me? So today, man, I gotta move both these cars out the garage because it's raining, and I gotta work on this GTI. My brother's car, I guess, is leaking brake fluid, and apparently he thought that was like something you could just fill back up and not worry about because he's yeah, so I have to figure out why his brake fluid is leaking, and that's what we're gonna be doing today. Let's just take a quick look at this thing. Yep, this guy really takes care of his car all right. Now, if the brakes got a leak, even with the car off, this pedal should be soft. Jesus. It does build pressure though, but not too much pressure. Let's see what happens with the brake booster on here. Oh no. Yeah, this brake pedal is just... this thing is just sinking to the ground. This is not safe for driving, especially not in the rain. Look at how worn these brakes are. There's like no pad, and that's what I was thinking. I was like, the only way that this could be that bad is if the caliper, the brake pad is worn so bad that it like got to the piston or something, which was just like insane. But look at how thin the rotor is on the inside there. There is nothing left.
I want to say it was a 13 millimeter for the bolt, and then like a 15 for the keeper on the inside of the caliper there.
Oh, I see. So I think this is supposed to be... the brake pad is so worn that I think the piston extended past, I'm assuming where this rubber boot is supposed to clamp around this edge right here. I don't know if you can see that. It's not really... piston to push this brake pad in had to come out so far that the boot slipped off, I believe. First time getting the cart. Kind of concerned though, because these got two different part numbers in their front rotors. They shouldn't be different.
So apparently some cars do have directional rotors. The fins push out the air as they spin, like directional wheels will. I'm not sure if that was the case for this car. I can't remember exactly, but I think the brake rotor itself was actually a different size, so I swapped them out before I left.
Alright, so I got the caliper bracket out. It took me a while to get the caliper piston to push back in, so I just broke the nipple because I'm going to have to bleed the system anyway. So I did that. Oh, I was going to say it was seized on there, but I guess not. So we got our new brakes right here. Hopefully they're the right part. Alright, get our keeper screw. It's a T30 bit. I don't know if I got that earlier. Oops. It's not gonna focus. It's T30 bit. So, quick thing to mention: this car does not have a brake caliper sensor on it, but the brake pad replacements do. I'm just gonna go ahead and snip that off after I confirm that neither side has it. I can't see on this side yet, so just something to note. So let's just do a quick side-by-side comparison here. This is what we were working with, and this is the replacement. It's just, you just don't let your brakes get to be this bad. It's ridiculous. I mean, you should never see that indentation on there. So we're all good to go. Let's button this up really quick. I'm just going to speed through the rest of this side and then do the other side.
So I went ahead and did the same thing for the other side. I removed the caliper bracket bolts on the top, and then I just loosened the one on the bottom so it could swing out. And then I opened up the bleeding nipple on the caliper to release pressure while I clamped it down with some C-clamps. I don't know what the right way to do this is on the Volkswagen, but I've never had such a hard time pressing down a caliper piston ever in my life. And it gets worse.
There you are. There you are. How's the passenger side doing?
I don't know. I won't know until I press the brake a few times.
Yeah. But you got it changed out?
Yeah, everything's. I'm all done with the front. Okay. Nobody want to hear the drunk ramblings. All right.
Just going to start up the car and apply pressure to the brakes to make sure that they're not leaking still. And then we're going to move on to the rear brakes.
Alright, so after doing some research, I can't do the rear without a special tool that winds the piston back. So it looks like I might be able to get away with doing it without the Torx, or the 3 square, whatever it's called, M14 in the back. Someone said you can just slide the caliper off, compress the piston, and you'll have enough wiggle room to just kind of like slide the rotor on. And I think just by looking at it, it looks like that's probably possible. So I'm going to end the video here, you guys. I'm going to get this thing put back on the ground, get the cars that matter back in the garage, and then hit Harbor Freight tomorrow and start earlier on this thing and hopefully get the rears done and then finish the bleed job. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Here. Alright, so something I didn't mention last video when I was looking at the rear brakes was the fact that apparently when you take out the these bolts up here, you're supposed to actually replace them completely or something, but I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little bit of blue Loctite on there and send it. Alright, so I got the plate number 1 on the inside there. I have this piece centered a little better, and wouldn't you know it, it spins a lot better. Still very slow, but at least we're not seized up here. so you can get the gist of this. Let's zoom in on the piece we're working on. So you're seeing that spinning very slowly, but it is spinning. And hopefully it is compressing back into the piston cylinder. So I'm going to keep doing that. You don't need to see any more of that. And hopefully we can get this thing done pretty quick now. Alright, so obviously this is not the right brake rotor, which is just fantastic. They got the front ones right. They just couldn't get the rear ones right, I guess. Alright, we're back from AutoZone because Napa only had Brembos and they were $100 a piece and they had to order them. These are Duralast rotors. It turns out this car is a autoban GTI, which apparently is like the top doggy dog. Someone's gonna be like, no, it's not. There we go. Shoot. Alright, these look good. On the brakes, put back far enough. Looking good, looking good. Alright. Now I get that Loctite we mentioned on these right here. A little bit and a little bit. We are moving on. Alright, so that's pretty much it. We're going to go ahead and tighten everything down, do the same to the other side, and then we're going to bleed the brakes. Alright, last but not least, the pain in the ass bolt down here.
One of the bolts is really hard to get to. Trying to slide an extension with a 1/2-inch drive between springs and lower control arms. It's just not easy. The German engineers really failed here.
Alright, done. 840. I'm just gonna do one of these, see how fast we can do it. Go. Toast. Even more toast. Now you can't just slide these out. Some people on the internet like to say you can, you can't. Just wanted to show that you can't. Base model maybe, but not the Autobahn. No siree. That's why we take out the top carrier bolt, the M14. Little love tap there, and there we go. Keeper bolt, keeper bolt, keeper bolt, right there. There we go. Now we need to compress the piston, and we use this tool right here. You're going to put this part beneath this part of the caliper, and then you're going to put your correct adapter piece inside the grooves, and then you're just going to spin and spin. I'm going to go ahead and reattach the caliper so I don't have any slop in it. I guess I should have done that after I put on the rotor. We'll just come back to that. Alright, so your setup should look something like this. Got the plate number 1 on the outside that's going to be pressing against the inside of the caliper bracket right there. And then you're just going to be spinning clockwise. It's hard to do with one hand. There you go. And I'm not 100% sure if it's supposed to kind of wind up that that bushing there, or how is that supposed to look, but hopefully everything works out. So just keep doing that until it's pushed all the way back in. Toss your rotor back on, toss on the brake pads, and then put everything back together the way you found it. I'm going to put a little Loctite on each one of these bolts on the caliper right there, and then that should do it. Alright, now we got the e-brake adjusted or whatever it is. Got that piston back down. I think that's going to be enough for it. Go ahead and slide on this brake rotor again. Hope the brakes are compressed enough. Alright, moment of truth. That one in, no problem. Looks like this one's going to be in, no problem, so we are good to go. Just like that. Looking good. Alright, let's go ahead and get the caliper bracket back in. Got that threaded on, and then we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of Loctite on each of the caliper bolts and get that all tightened down, and we'll be done. We'll just need to bleed it after that. So about 30 minutes. 30 minutes per side is how long it should take. 30 minutes, that's it. You know exactly what you're doing, and you should know what you're doing now because you watched this video. Should only take you 30 minutes per side. Same thing for the fronts, if that, probably even less. 2-hour job max if you know what you're doing, and you should know what you're doing because you watched this video. Now I'm going to go ahead and bleed the brakes, and probably won't record that because I am all out of tape. So that should do it. I guess what I could do is give the e-brake, I guess you'd lift it up a few times. It's definitely getting tighter. So I know that the cylinder is moving in and out the way it's supposed to. Yeah, now I just got to bleed the brakes again. Not going to show you that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Alright, so this is the one-man brake bleeding system. You just have a water bottle, very tight fitting on that, poke a hole, use a lighter and a screwdriver, something like that, stab it through the top of the lid, and then you're going to put this part on the bleeding nipple there, and then what you're going to do is run a high point up through the springs and use that high point as your air bubble let off point, essentially. So the air will stay high and the fluid will push it out, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to do that. I don't got too much more space on this SD card, but I'll just show you one side and then you can repeat the rest on all the other three. Alright, so you're going to run the tube up to a high point and then attach your bleeding tube to the nipple there, and then you're going to break that loose, and then you're just going to pump and pump and pump until you have no more air bubbles coming out of that system there. Alright, car's all buttoned up, all the brakes are bled. Let's go for a test drive. So I don't know what these brakes are supposed to feel like. I'm used to my regenerative brakes on the Leaf that are really sensitive. And I know you're supposed to kind of wear in your brakes a little bit, I think. You would think that you'd have to do a little bit of wearing, right? I'm not like slamming them, it's just I'm checking for pressure. I mean, it doesn't sink to the ground, the pedal builds pressure. It's been forever since I had to do a job like this. Is the car good enough to drive to work every day? I don't see why not. Maybe like a 60 to 0 or something. I think the brakes work pretty good. I think that's a job well done. End of video, folks. Peace out. Here.